Okie dokie. So let me know if y'all can hear me. How is everybody? I feel better today. As y'all know, Monday was just a stressful. Was it Monday? Was it Sunday? I can't even remember what day of the week things have happened. Because it's been so crazy around here. It's like I said, things were hectic. As I said, we lucked out and didn't get much damage from the storm, but there are people in our area that did. But we're doing good. Power's back on. I mean, as you can see, I feel much more myself. Um, I don't know. It's been a crazy week, and I'm just ready for things to kind of all be back completely to normal. I don't know how that's going to go or when that's going to go. Just so y'all know, I don't know if y'all know, we did do a video earlier. I put up the video for the September Patreon scrap box drawing, but reminding y'all that you can comment on the August 2020 video if you have not, to make sure that you're entered in for the drawing on the 4th. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Oh, I'm glad you think your customer service is great, Pink Pearls. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult, especially during times like this. And like we'll get questions of where's our order, and I feel bad, but sometimes it's almost impossible to answer until we get back to the shop. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, yes, we are completely safe. We did end up evacuating. We left the day of the storm. We left, I think, at like 5 o'clock. The storm started to roll in about 7. But my sister-in-law only lives about 2.5 hours away from us. So we could easily get away. Yeah, April, probably so. Part of the thing is, y'all know I have fibromyalgia. My autoimmune disease is always worse when I'm stressed, and that doesn't help anything. Hi, Tamika. Hi, Mary Jane. Hi, Maria. But other than that, like, even though stress exacerbates it, I mean, my life has literally been nothing but stress, it seems like, since forever. But it has been a tough year. I mean, it's been a tough few years. And we're trying to make some tough decisions and figure things out, because it's like I told my husband, I don't want to go through this again. I don't want to go through this again, at least not living here, because the area has been home because of family and stuff like that. And it's a great small town, but this is not my ideal place. Yes, Mittenkin, we've talked about for years. Me and my husband, whenever he was in the Navy, he was stationed in Florida and he was stationed in California. So we've lived on both coasts. I was born in Florida. I've lived in Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, and California. And Florida is my ideal spot. So we've actually started looking around more in the areas of the Orlando area. So if y'all live near there, tell me some good communities, because that's kind of what we're like. I want to be close to things, but I don't want to be in the city. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still have a kid in school, so I'm looking for a good school district. But yeah, we're talking about moving hopefully within the year. Well, Maria, here's the thing about it. And I was explaining this to my mother-in-law. Even though hurricanes happen in Florida, the area that we're looking at, they haven't had to evacuate and stuff as many times as we have. And hurricanes don't bother me in that aspect. Like, the thing is, we have literally had so many major storms here And if I'm going to live somewhere like that, then I want to be my dream location. You know what I mean? Like Florida is my dream location. And I can deal with the stress of it all, because one of the things about it too is a lot of people don't realize this is construction and stuff like that in Florida is a lot different than how things are constructed in Texas, because Texas was so different. And yes, it does flood extremely easy where we live. We've had 4 major floods in the past 10 years. Okay, so for Florida, what it is about it, one thing is like I was born in Fort Lauderdale, and I'm a beach girl. I love, 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 love the beach. Well, where we live at in Texas, we are on the dirty side of the Gulf. So our beaches are not pretty. Pensacola beaches, all that is absolutely stunning. I love being able to go to the beach. One of my favorite things. Plus, there's a lot of other things in Florida I like. I like that there's theme parks. I like that there's things to do without it being just restaurants and bars. Because we love museums, we love theme parks, we love stuff like that. We like to go do things. Where we are, there's not much. Like on the weekends, we're either going to go to the movies, or we're going to go walk around the mall, or we're going to go eat at a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? There's not a whole lot to do. And if we want to go somewhere, we have to drive to Houston. Well, Houston is great. It's got some museums, but it doesn't have any theme parks, things like that. And I mean, and it might sound weird because I'm a 37-year-old woman, but I love theme parks. I like to ride rides. I don't want to ride rides at a hokey little town fair, but I like to go and enjoy those types of things. I mean, y'all know, y'all see, Disney is like my favorite place. And it's not just for the rides, it's the atmosphere. Like, I want to be able to go to Disney World at Christmas and Halloween and Thanksgiving and things like that. You know what I mean? And it's my favorite place. And the beaches are great, absolutely wonderful. And there's more than just Disney. You know, there's Universal, there's SeaWorld, there's so many things to do that are close to that area that make it better. And then as far as opportunities go, you know, living closer to a big city, there's a lot more job offers and things like that. And, you know, that's one of the things that we've looked at. You know, we want my kids, I don't want my kids to have to, because in our area, because of where we're at, this is a refinery town. But being in a refinery area, because oil and gas and all that's produced here, for the most part, if you want a decent job in this area, it is, you have to work at a refinery or something that supports the refineries. And that's another thing that scares me. I mean, we had literally, and if y'all followed me for a while, last November, we had a plant explosion about 2.5 miles away from us. We had to evacuate for it. We literally, because of where we are, we have a chemical plant that is not even a half mile from us. So things can happen and things can go wrong. So it is, we have talked about it and talked about it for years. You know, we really have. And it's kind of getting to the point where we can make those decisions and choose it. And well, I mean, Monica, it wasn't though for the longest time, or at least I didn't realize it. I mean, when I was a kid growing up here, because I did spend most of my life here, even though I was born in Florida and stuff like that, I've spent most of my life in this area. And it's a great area depending on what you want to do. Like, my husband is not a hunter. I don't like to go to the woods. Like, every once in a while we'll go on a hike, like in the big thicket. I don't mind that. But I'm like a bad omen magnet, I guess is the best way to say it. Like, we went hiking. The last time we went hiking, I had a tick. I got a tick. Nobody else got a tick. I got a tick. I literally I've had an alligator under my car. And we don't live, I mean, we live somewhat near swampland, but I had alligator under my car. I've been chased by a water moccasin. I've got bitten by a brown recluse. So I'm bad luck material. My kids will tell you this too. And I'm clumsy. So like right now, I have a bruise about this size on my thigh because I hit our generator. And I bruised really, really easily. And we've talked about it. I mean, nothing's going to happen with the business or anything like that. Or things might change, but we're still going to do what we do. But I want less stress. I mean, my kids are getting older, and I want to have some. And even if like the kids decide not to stay living in that area, it's such a vacation destination that my kids will want to come see me. Or at least that's how I look at it. I mean, and I want to be able to travel more and stuff like that. But I just feel like that's the move for us. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take. Most crafty nurse, we were talking about moving, which we've been talking about for a while. Spitting Kitten, 6 months to a year is what we're talking about. Like, I don't want to move Cameron in the middle of the school year, but he is doing homeschool. So I mean, are homebound. So I guess it really doesn't matter if I move him in the middle of the school year. It kind of just depends on what my husband can find out as far as work goes, because he's going to have a job before we move. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's something we've talked about. Because the thing is, like, my husband works and gives me the freedom to be able to do this because we have to have insurance and stuff like that. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Deborah. That's always terrible. Oh, so you have fibromyalgia too. Yeah, fibro is terrible. And stress is getting to me. And a part of the thing is, what I want y'all to realize is too, like, I don't want it to sound like, oh, woe is me, because, we deal with it, we go on, we keep moving on. It's really not the end of the world. But since we've opened, which was in 2016, 2015, Cameron, right before he started 4th grade, so it was 2016. So we opened in 2016. We've had Harvey, Imelda, Laura. We had a plant explosion. We've had there's been so much stuff that's happened that it makes it where you want to stop and like reassess some of your things that are going on. And my mother and father-in-law, that's another reason why we have stayed, is because they didn't want to move off. Well, now they want to move. They've talked about for the past couple of years too, moving closer to my sister-in-law, which she lives in Conroe, or Montgomery, which is right outside Conroe. And they have talked about it. And if they're closer to them, then I don't feel bad about moving off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to leave them, if that makes sense. So part of the thing is like stopping and taking a serious stock and evaluation. And honestly, since we've kind of made some more decisions over things and seriously talked about them, I think that has helped a lot and made me feel better, if that makes sense. I want more out of life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to constantly sit here and work and work and work and work. Valencia, are you washing your Bell and Canvas shirts first? What type of vinyl are you using? There could be several different things. Or what are you using? A blend of a Bell and Canvas shirt. Where are you getting your Bell and Canvas shirts from? There's a lot of different aspects on why vinyl won't stay to shirts. Part of the problem is you may not be getting enough pressure. So you're using Caesar vinyls. Okay. Are you using a heat press? Those are questions you have to ask. because you got to make sure pressure and heat are some of the most. Yes, ma'am. Or so you're saying you're using a heat press? What's your heat press set to? And is your heat press hard to close? Can you see the texture of the vinyl through the shirt? I do have videos showing that, how that is extremely important, where you can see the texture through. Let's see. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on here, but like on this mask, you see, oh yeah, you can see it. You see how you see the texture of the mask through? That's how you know it's on there good. Let's see. Yeah, Valencia, probably it sounds like to me you're not getting enough pressure. So will you move Cuttin Corners, and will you do it to the capacity you are now? Those are decisions we're going to make. Like if we, like we're not going to close down the business, but we may just do online only. Instead of having a storefront. I don't know yet. Those are things that we still have to make decisions about, and we've got plenty of time to decide on. So if you're using a hand iron, yes, sometimes you do have to press super hard, depending on the vinyl and stuff like that. And irons are notorious because you don't know exactly what you're heating at. So that you saw how you saw that texture. That is something that you always, always, always are going to want to look for. And the thing is, like Cuttin Corners isn't going anywhere. YouTube's not going anywhere. Y'all are still going to see me and all that kind of stuff. And I haven't made any decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like we've got a lot of time to kind of figure out what we're going to do. Because most of y'all that are here watching me online. I mean, let's face it. So y'all are ordering from me online. So I can do that from anywhere. Absolutely anywhere. And we may leave this location and open up another. I don't know yet. I mean, that's the thing about owning a business. We can always open up a second location. Oh, that makes me happy. Roms, I'm glad you like the vinyl, Kelly. Specialty does make some amazing. Smitten Kitten, it really does depend. Honestly, it really does depend. Most of the time, we do more of our business online, but because of the Rona, it's now equal. So, I mean, it kind of just depends on what's happening. I mean, part of the thing is like where we live, our town is 17,000 people. There's, you're only going to get this much market. That's part of the reason why we did an online business too, was because you can only grow so much in a small town. I mean, it's especially with a specialized thing like that we're doing. It's a craft store. I mean, I don't have a book yet. Like I have like a personal book, but they haven't came out like a full-blown catalog for the adhesive vinyls yet. So hopefully they'll add all that to it. They're working on it. Yeah, I mean that's part of it. Is Smitten Kitten is. Oh, I think part of the thing is because me and my husband have talked a lot, and we're trying to make smart decisions. But that's neither here nor there. But it's like I said, where you're at, you can only grow so much, if you do online or not. Online, I think, is very important if you want to grow past small business. But as I said, I don't know how much past a small business I do want to grow, if that makes sense. Like I'm trying to figure out what I want to do forever, I guess is the best way to say it. Right now, Susan, the shirts are not on our website because Bella and Canvas through everything has their stock has been really weird. So I don't like to have things that I can't get a hold of easily. So as soon as things kind of even out, they will be back on the website. Yes, we are going to do Craftsmas in October. We got some fun stuff planned. We have a fun tutorial planned tomorrow. But you see what I'm saying? Like, that's part of it, is like I try to explain to y'all, is the trying to make decisions over things, because yes, I'm a business owner, and yes, I have people who depend on me, but I'm lucky in the aspect of, like, I have the freedom to be able to make more decisions and, you know, change my mind if I want to. Like, I'm not stuck doing anything. But again, Cuttin Corners is not going anywhere. Talking about moving does not mean the business is going to, you know. Yeah, see, Michael's and Joanne's, and that's part of it, is, you know, whenever we first started doing this, Dana, that Michael's and Joanne's and Hobby Lobby carried very, very, very little vinyl. And now they do. Well, that hurts the small business. You know, if everybody's doing it, then. Oh, see, me too, spitting kitten. I mean, if y'all know, and best way to describe it, like for myself personally, because I don't buy craft supplies except for work, because that's what I do for work. And I love crafting, but it's work. But if I'm buying makeup, if you look at most of my stuff that I do buy, I buy a lot of independent small business brands because I love that. I want to support that. Yeah, Cricut is not the best vinyl. It really isn't. But I mean, some of them have Oracle and some of them have Caesar and stuff like that, which is not bad. I mean, and that's the thing is, like, at this point, nothing's changing. Nothing's changing at this point, but we will let you know what we are going to do as we make decisions. Because part of the thing is, and maybe y'all don't realize this, is like my mother and father-in-law are part owners of the business too, as well as my husband, and they're getting older. They don't want to do as much, so that stuff is we got to figure out. Yeah, no, I love small businesses. Love them, love them, love them. I mean, yes, there are some certain big companies that I'm obsessed with. Disney's one of them. But part of the reason why I'm obsessed with Disney is because of Walt Disney himself and the things that he would say and the vibes and things that he put off. That's why I love it. Not because it's a big, huge corporation. And I still think that a lot of his values and things like that hold true, because there is still some family input. Um, but I do prefer small businesses, and I don't care where the small business is. There's because they're like, there's a small business in Canada called Cleona Cosmetics. They do the absolute best multi-chrome eyeshadows ever, and I will order from them knowing that I'm going to spend an arm and a leg for them because they're beautiful, and I know the quality that I'm going to get from them every single time. So I don't mind it. And some people do, but I don't. Like, for me, I'm like, you know, I like my Buc-ee's shirt. We went to Buc-ee's when we went to the Galleria. And Buc-ee's, if you've never seen Buc-ee's, it's a big deal in Texas. If you ever go through Texas and you need a clean bathroom, find a Buc-ee's, which they now have one in Mississippi. That's the first one that was out of the state of Texas. No, I really don't use Mary Kay makeup. I am not the biggest fan of MLMs, which is multi-level marketing. The people who are at the bottom don't make any money, not really. And the business structure is weird. Like, if you're working for a company or being your own boss, you don't have to sit there and pay and they tell you that kind of stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's something skeevy about it. And that's because, like, I did Pampered Chef. I mean, being a small town America, you know, you hear you're supposed to be your own boss and totally, you know, do all that kind of stuff. And I didn't do bad at Pampered Chef, but the monthly quotas and stuff like that, it's like, well, I'm a mom. I don't have time to do all this kind of stuff and this and that. And, you know, so it's like, nope, not anymore. And I feel like, and what's worse, Okay, so one thing that I don't like is because of the position I'm in, you know, being on the internet and stuff like that, I get so many people who are like, hey, will you do this for me? Will you do that for me? And yes, Oscar, we finally got power. It came on at 8 o'clock last night. And I posted about it like, hey, we're going to be open tomorrow. Because, you know, some people might think, oh, you get to be off work for a few days. I like working. I like being busy. Did I like Mary Kay in general, or did I like Pampered Chef? Mary Kay has, I mean, like when I was younger, everybody, you know, like because you always knew someone in your family that was selling Mary Kay, and it was okay. But there are so many brands that are so much better and cheaper. Yes, we are taking and filling orders, TJ. We're finally getting caught up, so we're days behind, just so y'all know. But there are like a lot, but we are going to get caught up. It's just going to take a little while. Yeah, Valencia, hopefully I'm not bothering you by saying that. It's just how I feel. Like, yeah. But I have a certain makeup style, which, you know, for the most part, I am not a natural girl. You know, you can tell I like makeup. I don't have a thought in my head about wearing a blue eyeshadow look or anything like that. Like, I don't care. So that's who I am. That's how I am. I'm bright. I'm bold. I'm me. And, you know, I don't need another 20 brown eyeshadows. Do I order them? Yes. That's my fault, though. But, I mean, it has to be something special for me to want to order something neutral. Thank you, Oscar. That's so sweet. I do my best. But, you know, we keep on keeping on, and that's how everybody is I think that in this society that is right now. Oh, and speaking of orders, that we were talking about is right now 20% off your entire purchase. You can purchase as many times as you want. If you are in the United States, $99 after discount is free shipping. So just so you know. Oh, Cleona Cosmetics. They are awesome. It's it's like CLIONDAH, I think is how you spell it. So, but yeah, no, I absolutely adore them. Absolutely. I mean, there are some other brands that I absolutely love too, but they're one of my absolute favorites. But yeah, I mean, those are the things that I like. I mean, that's not going to go away. I don't know. Things are what they are. Well, and see, that's part of it is I'm here all the time. I worked from home and I got bored with it. So that should tell you something. Like the business isn't going anywhere. It's just trying to figure out how we're going to do it in the next capacity. You know what I'm saying? You know, figure out things. Oh, thank you, DIY. My DIY tries. I mean, that's just how I am. I mean, I've never been a shrinking violet. I always joke with my husband about that. Like, it might surprise you, but I'm very bold on the outside, and but I'm very kind of quiet, except on here. Yes, I still shop at Baubles and Bliss, Latrina. They're still an awesome small business. I haven't been shopping for clothing or jewelry very much because I am not okay. I'm not happy with my body. If y'all don't know, with fibromyalgia and stuff like that, I have struggled with weight off and on. And so, with that being said, I'll buy a t-shirt, or make a t-shirt. That's what I'm comfortable in right now. So I've been dressing up, wearing cute dresses and stuff like that. Typically, I'm in a t-shirt and jeans. Okay, so you need to find vinyl for nylon, and it depends on what type of nylon you're using because different types of nylon can take different temperatures. So again, you need to, before you say yes to doing any type of nylon, you need to spot check your stuff. See if it works on it or not. But they do make vinyl that is specifically for nylon. Let's see. This is the specialty material product guide. It is absolutely awesome. But like, I think it's extra. Yeah, Thermoflex Extra, which we don't have on the website yet. We are planning on adding it. That is for heat sensitive materials. So it heats at 300 degrees. But even then, if your nylon can't take it, you know, it still will melt. Well, Smitten Kitten, I'm finally back on keto because, especially right now, like with having fibromyalgia, I have a crappy immune system. Always have, probably always will have a crappy immune system. I don't feel comfortable going to the gym. So we walk as much as possible, but with everything that's happened. So I just started keto back. So we'll see how that goes. And I mean, I try to be as honest as possible. I mean, like jewelry. Like I have every color pretty much of Hermes bracelet there is. I have my jewelry box because I have one of those big like jewelry box armoires. It's full. And I really don't wear them a lot. Not because they're not pretty, it's just because they're not functional for my everyday life. Like I can dress up to dress for what I'm going to do on video, but then I was like, I have to take stuff off and all that before I can even really work. So that's part of the thing that it doesn't work for me. And for myself personally, I'm still a t-shirt and jeans kind of girl. That's part of the reason why I like making shirts is because I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of girl. You know, like I'll go full glam here, but not anywhere else for me. Oh, well, there is a new bread, or I'm not sure how new it is, but we have it at HEB. It's like a 0-carb bread. It is kind of eggy, but I'll tell you this, and this is going to sound weird. Like if you were craving bread and want a sandwich, the bread is, I think it's called 0-carb. Could be wrong about the brand of it. What I typically do is I'll take, it's got a lot of egg in it, as I said, is I'll butter it and cook like a hot ham and cheese in this on the skillet, but I'll put mustard on it so it helps with the flavor. So it doesn't have like the mustard helps with the egginess, and it is so good, but it helps with that bread craving. I'm also like a big chips and salsa eater, and I will take and pork rinds are great. And I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're at the grocery store. They're called Wisp, WHISP. They're like little cheese cracker thingies. That also helps when you have like chip cravings. But I'm also like, I boil eggs. I leave eggs in my house all the time. Like I always have some boiled because I'll eat those like boiled eggs and salsa. One of my favorite things to do for breakfast. Now there is a curve whenever you're doing keto where you have to like the keto flu is real, and it's but once you get used to it, I always feel much better on keto. Okay, so you're having problems with your vinyl you're using on water bottles. What brand are you using? How long are you letting it sit before you're using it? Those are things, because if you're not using a permanent adhesive, it's kind of how it goes. And I still have cheat days when I do this. Like, well, okay, so I started doing keto before the storm, like a week or so before the storm, lost 7 pounds in a week. I put on 2 pounds over the week since for the storm stuff. But that's because I wasn't sticking to keto whenever we have no power and stuff like that. It's very hard to stick to a diet whenever you got junk food in your house and you're sitting there. And I'm a stress eater. I'll be the first to admit it. Like that's my big issue too, is like I am a stress eater. Whenever I'm stressed, I'm like, give me the chips, give me the brownies, give me the cookies. I want the food. I want it all. And that's not good, but it is what it is. Yeah, so that's how it is. Well, Nate, if you want to make me a shirt, you can. But yeah, I mean, and that's why, I mean, like, you see a lot of times people on the internet. And I have my favorite people and stuff like that I watch on YouTube and stuff like that. And you feel like you know them, but then there's like sometimes where you're like, is your life that good or are you just pretending? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is your life actually? Because I lay it all out there. If I'm upset, y'all are going to know I'm upset. If I'm happy, you're going to know I'm happy. I am who I am, and that is all. I mean, well, I mean, and that's all part of it. I love to go walking. Okay, so typically what we do, we didn't do it today because we're trying to catch up because the storm and we're so far behind on everything. But typically in the morning, me and Cameron will go walk a couple miles. Nate, email us and we can do something for you. I'm sure we can work out something to make you a wedding set. But the like we also like after work too, like when Jeremy gets off, we go for a walk again, and then that's another 2 miles or so that I try to do every day. But today is not one of those days. Well, I mean, and trust me, Smitten Kitten, I understand that completely because here it's like 100 and or like 98, I think. But with our heat index and the humidity, it feels like it's like 113. I mean, and I sweat. Like, it's not pretty. Like, what you see me in, like, typically what I do is, like, if I'm coming up here, me and Cameron go for a walk before work, I have extra clothes to change into because I get that gross. Maria, I don't know how cool you think it's going to be. I think they said it's a cool for coming through for us, and I think our temperatures are supposed to be about 85. Do you know how hot that is? Especially in Southeast Texas, humidity. 85 feels like 95. It ain't cool. Like, we are shorts at Christmas because it's so hot. Always. Always. I mean, and no, don't get me wrong, because, like, it sounds like I'm complaining and then I'm on the same hand talking about moving to Florida. So, the heat doesn't bother me so much. Like, I can deal with it. I'm used to it. I don't like the colds at all. Well, yeah, see, you're a lot further up than me. Like, we are close to the ocean. Like, whenever they talk about storm surge, like whenever they were talking about like Laura and stuff like that, we're how they were talking about the 40 miles inland is where the storm surge could have hit. We are 36 miles from the coast. So, I mean, we're down in it. Where are you at, Dana, to be in the 50s already? You know how many days a year we see the 50s here? That's like nothing. 78, Baby Jane, that's us at Christmas and in February. Like, I don't own a big coat because we don't need big coats. And for us, we freeze at 50 degrees. It's like, I don't like to be cold. Like, I mean, I say that, like, I want the house to be chilly, but I don't want to be cold. Like, I love outdoor stuff. Like, I'm not a hunter. I don't like the woods that much, but I like the beach and stuff like that. I like being outside for that. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Heat and humidity. That's part of the reason why I like as I said, the areas that we're talking about doing, like for Orlando and stuff like that. It doesn't bother me. So, but again, like as I said, I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of girl. That's, this is my uniform. But I don't know. Things are just things. Well, and that's part of it too, is like for my fibro and stuff like that, I feel worse whenever it's cold. So I prefer the heat. Because that was another thing me and my husband talked about. Well, maybe what about Colorado? And I was like, which Colorado seems fun, other than the problem is there's still not a whole lot to do the things that we really enjoy doing. Like, if we lived closer to Houston, we'd be at the zoos and the museums and stuff like that all the time because we love to do that. There's just nothing around us. I mean, and y'all know, if y'all see us like on new things, we go to the movies. Like, I think the movie theater's fixing to finally open back up, but I don't know how comfortable I feel about going there. But thanks, baby Jane. But yeah, no, I don't know if I feel comfortable yet going to the movie theaters and all that. I mean, I'll still wear a mask and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. Yeah, it's bad. But anyways, I guess I will end it here because I've been on here for 40 minutes. And I got to get ready to close up the store. So remember, 20% off your entire purchase. I'm not sure when we're going to end it yet. We typically do this whenever we have a storm because it kind of helps bring up some income because, you know, whenever you're closed for a week, it definitely hurts. But don't forget, we have a new tutorial going to be up tomorrow. If you haven't taken and entered in for the scrap box drawing on the 4th, make sure you do that. Check me out on all my social media, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. I also have a second channel that's dedicated to all things makeup. But I guess that's it. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.